And welcome back to another exciting episode of the Movie Hoppers. And today we have your favorite special guest, or at least the one that shows up the most. If you don't like him, just vote him off. Nick. Hell yeah.
It's gonna be
And
voting me off anytime soon, Joe.
yeah, vote. I think we should vote this guy off. Very controversial treats.
Keep your opinions to the movies, Joe.
Okay. Well, what movie did we see? What movie am I opinionating today?
Hey, we're gonna be looking at JoJo Rabbit.
Oh, that's actually a movie that you've wanted to see for a while instead of a movie that just sprang on you at a random time, which is a first for the channel.
Yeah.
So this movie is advertised as a movie in which a kid has.
Uh, Excuse me, Joe.
Oh, you're excused. You're most
No,
definitely
I'd like
excused.
to say that you're gonna have to cancel this and start recording again
Why?
because Sebastian responded to me.
Just have him jump on. Candid. This is completely candid, but I'll just explain the plot for people who don't know. So a kid has a best friend, an imaginary friend, and he's Hitler, and but that's not really quite it. That's kind of like 15, maybe 15-20% of the movie. Hitler is not on screen for a lot of it, so if you're looking for a lot of Hitler content, then you might be disappointed. Question mark. But this movie, I believe, is much more than what is in the trailers, and I think, or we actually have not discussed what we thought of this movie beforehand, because the Movie Hoppers is a candid podcast. But I think that my co-hosts now believe the same thing. And
Yeah,
do you agree?
yeah, I agree. This movie was a lot more than I was expecting. Honestly, that's a good thing.
Yeah. And it definitely transcends its concept, I guess. I don't even know. The Hitler part could have probably been taken out and the plot would have remained the same. It's almost like it was just something that they put in just for the gimmick of it.
I feel like at first that's what they were going for, but towards the end they changed it into a more character development
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah, Hitler.
Uh,
Maybe that is not to spoil anything, but maybe that is a message, part of the message, indicative of what's going on. But I feel like if you take out all the Hitler parts, this movie, I don't think it would be better. I don't think the Hitler parts bog down the experience, but
no, they did not.
I do believe that it would have been largely the same movie, despite the fact that the Hitler parts did make it better, but the trailers definitely. When I saw the trailers, I thought that would be like the whole movie, and Hitler would be a
Yeah,
main character, but he's definitely not.
No, there
no,
was a
no.
side character the entire
Yeah.
time.
So if you wanted a lot of Hitler themed content, I guess look elsewhere if you can. There was a sitcom in either the like 70s or something about Hitler. So I don't know, sniff that
Could we
out.
do offers on that?
Well, there was only one episode released before it was like canceled because they realized it was not a good idea. So yeah, but yeah, this movie is. I actually did watch that one episode, I think. But this movie is better than that in a lot of ways. So we have Seabass here now, just in case you didn't hear the wonderful sound
I,
of his voice. He's here. So what did you think of this movie? Me and Nick have been pondering it, but we want a new voice.
I loved it. It was really good, and then it got very sad, but then it got very happy again, and like I enjoyed it a whole bunch because of that emotional twist that it
Yes,
gave.
Yeah.
that we are not talking about yet because it is not
Not
designated
yet,
spoiler talk.
not spoilers.
Just
Yes,
just in case. But yeah, it's definitely a crowd pleasing movie in my opinion. But let's see. What is there to talk about with this one, boys?
Well, we could do what we always do and go into the deep themes and lore, or we could just,
Whoa. Do we
talk
want
about the funniest jokes.
do we want to save that for the spoiler talk though before we get into the deep themes and the lore? Because I think, unlike the other movies we do, this I think the themes and lore of this movie is pretty easy to sniff out. I feel like the common moviegoer, which we are not, we have transcended, but the common, peasant moviegoer would be able to understand what this movie is saying. There's not a lot of subtlety
You
here, but I guess when you're making a movie about Hitler, I guess you're not worried about subtlety. But yeah, do you think that unless do you think there is some kind of bigger meaning just besides what I'm obviously referencing?
I
uh,
I think like
overall, I wouldn't say so. I think it's more of a character-driven movie.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, kind of the main character did go through a whole heck of a lot.
Yeah, I
And then
think.
like
Oh, you go.
but then like in the end they also just gave like a whole analysis too. So I mean like I don't want to go into
Not
spoilers, but like I with what the ending was, I agree with that. That's
Yeah,
all I'm gonna say.
I thought some interesting things happened in the end, but again, we will not discuss such things. Let's discuss
Not as of
things.
now.
I'm gonna pull up some big words that I trust that you guys can understand. What did you guys think of the cinematography?
Ooh, I feel like the cinematography here was quite well done.
What,
Oh yes, definitely.
what did you like about it?
Oh wait,
The
can I
fact
go
that
first?
there,
Yes. I'm just gonna dive into this because I did enjoy the cinematography maybe more than I should have, but I thought it was good, especially for a 1:81. I don't know, by is not the right word, but 1:81 to 1 movie. Sometimes the cinematography in those movies can be lacking, especially in some crappy movies. But this guy, Thor director, whatever the fuck his name is, not even gonna try to pronounce it. He did a good job. I thought it was very interesting how some things were shot. I liked the colors. It all made sense. It all felt like I was there, and I enjoyed it a lot. Um, I, and yeah,
one interesting thing to note about the director is from my minimal research into the production of this movie, the director played the imaginary friend Adolf Hitler,
yeah, and he's Jewish, so
which adds to the irony of this movie.
yes.
It does add to the irony.
But I think, whenever you're dealing with child actors, and this movie does prominently feature a child actor, multiple, you're always rolling the die because kids can't act. They're fucking stupid. So, you never know what you're going to get. But I feel like this movie, he did a good job. Both of the
Yeah, he
child
did a good
actors.
Yeah.
job. It wasn't overbearing or
Mm-hmm.
like over the top for
Yeah.
most of it.
Wasn't all crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty
And
solid.
I
Yeah.
again without spoiling things, but I did like the limited times the movies kind of the movie breaks reality, like the one part where it shows the butterfly in his stomachs and shit like that. I thought that was kind of funny. I kind of wish I did that more, but
Yeah.
A few of
just
those moments
kind of
where they broke the fourth wall, and that made
yeah,
sort of sense.
yeah. But
That was
yeah,
cute.
I I enjoyed it. It wasn't. It's not really a straight up comedy, I guess. It's kind of more dramatic. Again, the whole Hitler act kind of gets dropped for a lot of the movie, a lot of the
Yeah,
main part.
like I kind of went in thinking it'd be a bit more of a comedy, but
Hmm.
then like there was a specific point where it just dropped,
Yeah,
and then it just, like felt really, really sad for the main actor. And then after
yeah,
that, like after it, one singular thing happens,
uh huh,
and then your mood gets to be a bit better. But it's like
yeah.
it,
It's
it just
it's it's
it just goes down all the time a tad bit at some point.
yeah. It's again. I feel the trailers for this movie kind of are deceptive. Uh,
A tad, yeah.
yeah. It's much more of a touchy feely movie than any sort of comedy or anything. So
I mean, it definitely starts off as a comedy.
yeah, like the whole when
Yeah.
he's in the camp, it's a comedy, but the second that he's not, it switches over totally. I mean, there's still jokes, but
There's still jokes, but
it's
like the overbearing sadness kind of just
yes,
prevails.
They blend into the dramatic rest of the movie.
yeah, and go
Yeah.
super hard on the whole message of the movie, which although this is a very tried and true message. I'm not going to say what it is, but if you've seen the fucking trailers, you can assume. Uh, it's a very tried and true message, but at the same time, it wasn't annoying. Like, I bet everyone has seen a message like this in a million other movies, but it's not annoying. I wasn't annoyed by it, despite the fact that it drove the whole movie. I didn't find it overbearing, so that's good. Because sometimes it is very overbearing, but not this one. So you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's not like some of the other movies we have discussed on the Movie Hoppers.
Oh boy.
Like what?
Like Late Night.
Oh yeah, Late Night. My
Drop the
favorite
name.
movie of the year. Oh my god. Oh yeah, it's not like Late Night. This movie is independent from its message while still heavily relying on it. It's hard to explain, but just it's good. It's fine.
It illustrates the message in a uh, stomachable manner without making you
Yes.
feel like it's overdone in any way.
Now, I think we would all agree that this movie is not completely perfect. And I feel like we are being extremely positive, and people don't like it when critics are positive. Sometimes you gotta be negative. You gotta get your hands dirty. So I think we gotta go into the corner of negativity, where we all list one thing that we did not like about the movie, starting with Seabass. Take it away.
Actually, no, Joe. I think since you introduced the corner of negativity, I think you should take the
Well,
field
you
here.
see, since I did introduce the corner of negativity, I think I gotta rest my voice. While I was thinking of the corner of negativity, I had no time to actually think of a negative, a negative attribute to the movie. And even while I'm forming this sentence, I'm unable to think of anything negative because my mind is preoccupied formulating these words. So I think Seabass should take it away.
Mine's going semi-numb. Crud. Okay, hang on. I gotta. Crap.
Take your time,
Okay.
me and Joe get ours.
Okay, I got it. So, okay. One of the things that there was a lot of parts in the movie that kind of seemed a little bit far-fetched for the time. Like, I didn't really understand which time zone they were in
Time
because
zone.
What do you
Well,
mean?
there was-
dude? It's
there was a few
World War
parts-
II.
it was World War II. Yeah, like there were a few parts where there were some things that were kind of taken above and beyond. Like, I can't really name any. I don't want to name any examples because that goes into spoilers.
Like, Too far fetched.
One, okay, the one guy's suit. That
But
I
that
loved
that
it.
guy's suit was for a joke.
I know, but like that's the thing.
Still
It kind of
it didn't like outdate itself. It wasn't futuristic in any way. It still had it was comprised of that era's utilities.
again, Chief. I have no clue. I just
Okay.
my mind is numb. That's the first thing I thought of.
Let me
I don't know.
hop in and try to contextualize what you're saying, I guess. So you're saying that there were points in which your immersion in not to say that that your immersion was broken in the film's world, like that you felt that the movie sometimes broke its own rules and broke its own time period a bit, and it didn't feel like it was in that time period.
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of what I was saying. It didn't happen often though. Like
Mhm.
it still felt like it was very like concrete in what it was doing and stuff.
Yeah.
I just felt there was sometimes a tad little bit of that somewhere.
Okay.
That's really only all I got though, because like again, I can't really think of much else.
Okay. So.
Oh, actually, okay. Then also the bunny getting killed. That made me feel sad.
Oh yes, that's early enough in the movie. But yeah, so okay, so there were points where your emotion was broken. How about you, Nick?
I want to say that if I had to pick any part about this movie, I'd say that towards the end, without giving any examples, some of the sadness would be put away by a couple of jokes.
Yeah.
Would immediately throw you back into that sadness, and I think that they should have put a bit more of a transition in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, movies like this, they do that a lot. Jeez, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? I guess just the kind of almost what Nick said, but I felt like for a wait, I might change what I'm saying, but I can't spoil anything. There should have been more build up for certain. I feel like some characters
I know what you're talking about.
could have been more developed. Um, like I think the mom could have been more developed. I think that
Yeah.
Oh.
Hitler could have been more complex than you know. I get what they were going for, but I feel like the character of Hitler was kind of a missed opportunity. They could have very easily made him into something much more deeper than he was. And, I'm not saying that this is the worst thing. I get what they were going for, and they did it well. But he could have been more complex, and that would have been more interesting for the movie overall. But, yeah.
I bet you
Yeah, he
couldn't
actually.
imagine yourself saying Hitler needs to be more complex. And
Well, in the movie, he did kind of act like a positive facade for the main
Yeah.
character.
he was
That's really all
supposed
he acted like.
in his mind, in the main character JoJo's mind, Adolf Hitler was
Yeah,
his
it's his
best
idol. I
Yeah.
get that. I
But
can understand.
I wish that maybe Hitler showed up more a bit, like when JoJo was transitioning, like from becoming to who he was to who he was going to be, Hitler did not show up like a lot. He showed up like twice, and I feel like that could have been like a much bigger point of conflict, but it just wasn't. I don't know. I just feel like maybe Hitler was underused a bit,
He was
especially
kind of underused.
especially since he's the whole selling point of the movie.
It's true.
Could have been used a bit more. But do you guys have anything else we gotta say before going into spoiler talk?
No, I'm ready for spoilers.
So, okay. The mom getting lynched was like, whoa.
That was the saddest part of the movie.
Whoa. That
Yeah,
came out
that
of
hit,
nowhere.
brain.
That was like a brain fuck. That
Yeah,
was like,
that
whoa.
was so sad. Like, oh my
I
gosh,
saw
there that happened.
And I'm like, hey, wait a minute, those look kind of familiar. And then the people behind us are like, wait, is that the mom? And then I felt like I just got Final Destination.
Dude.
Uh,
That was so.
Yeah, they said wait, it's the mom, and I was like, wait a minute, and then it was, and I'm like, oh boy.
Oh my god. It was so sad.
Yeah, but then like you have the funniest part of the movie, which is whenever Hitler gets freaking kicked out the
Oh,
window.
yeah.
Young kid says, "F all Hitler, bam!"
Fuck you, Hitler.
He kicks him straight out the window. That was like that was one of the
out of the window.
yeah, that was like one of the best scenes right there. Because even if it was after the sadness, it was
Yeah.
so freaking fun.
That was way after the sadness, though. That was like probably 20 minutes. This
But
movie.
going- What? Oh, you go ahead.
I was gonna say this movie felt fast, which is good. It didn't.
Yeah.
It was
slow.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything in the movie, everything that anybody did had meaning, and there was not a lot of wasted time. So you felt it. There wasn't a lot of just them standing there and doing nothing, which some movies do. So that's good. I like that. And the accents. I like their accents.
The accents are great.
Yes, every actor and actress had an accent, and that worked.
Oh my gosh. Then like I think I don't know the second like the second sad scene that I was watching, or it was sort of funny and sort of sad, was the entire war scene that took place.
Mhm.
Whenever kid was just standing still and the sad music was playing. There were some funny moments, but then there were other moments where it was like, oh my gosh, you poor characters.
But
Just getting completely killed.
yeah, what do you think about the part where they suicide bomb a kid?
That was great. That made me laugh so hard. He's like, here, give this guy a hug! And then he just grabs like a really big freaking machine gun and just gets blown up.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
And supports the kamikaze child movement.
yeah. Strong support
sure.
here.
oh
But
my gosh.
do you think this movie was attacking liberals or conservatives?
Neither. I don't think this movie was made to be political.
You don't think this movie about Nazis was supposed to be political?
I mean, like,
Yes.
in the
Whoa.
entire movie, like in the entire movie, they didn't really say that like sure they were saying that like Nazis were doing this, Nazis were doing that to like the Jews, but then
Hmm.
it's like at the end the Jews did get their way, and it's like I think for both sides they kind of had like this sort of mentality where it's like you're good, you're good too, and then they kind of just made like a happy ending for it. Like sure the
It's
one got completely
with the whole.
decimated at the end, but it's like they were winning beforehand, and they lost in the end. The ones that were losing in the beginning were winning in the end. I'd say it's like a fair trade right there with both of the
But
sides.
but I
Kind of just
find
cancel it out.
I find it interesting that this movie that was actually advertised in the trailers as a satire, Nick seems to believe, the man of many incorrect beliefs. So I guess I can't say I'm surprised, but Nick seems to believe that this movie has no political message.
Well, okay, I don't mean no political message, but I don't believe like this movie was made with the intent of being political. Like they used the whole Nazis not as a political force, but more as just like an antagonist. Like they're just using them as the vehicle of uh I,
A plot
ve-
device.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Seabass just muted himself, but that's fine. We'll live with that. But I, so you think that in the early stages, when Mr. Thor director, which is what his name is now, he had no political
Sorry, back.
ideas in mind when he made this? And are you saying that any political message is coincidental, or like?
Oh.
But I feel like that, whenever you make a movie about a bunch of Nazis, a political message is definitely inevitable, especially in this day and age when everybody's calling everyone else a Nazi.
I
I
didn't really see any like weird political message about that.
well,
Yeah, you're so fixated on this political message here, Joe. I think you should tell us
Okay,
what
wait a minute, wait a
that.
minute, wait a minute. All right, in that case, Joe, what do you think the political message is? Go.
Right.
obviously there was a lot of how they did focus a little bit, probably more than maybe they would have if they weren't trying to portray this, of how the Jews were demonized and how myths were made, despite the fact that you know none of the people there actually really knew any Jew or actually seen a Jew. They just kind of believed it because that's what they're told, and if it's being told by the government, that's fine. And they have the whole uh, government is good mentality no matter what. And when I walked in, that's basically the message I predicted was going to be. And I definitely think it has a lot to do with the message of how certain groups of people are demonized for no reason, despite the fact that we don't know them, despite the fact that we've never met one. You know, they're demonized by the government. And I feel like, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. That's not what this is about. I'm just saying that that's what this movie is saying. Like the
I,
whole
I thought
book thing.
I thought like I thought the myths were just used for the book for that one scene with the book where it's like it kind of portrayed what he thought as being a quote unquote Nazi soldier. And so when he wrote in the book with the myths and all that stuff, that's kind of what I was thinking it was entailed to. At least that's what I thought the myths went to. Just like the book and then that one
That
scene
shit
with
was secondary to what they were using those rumors for. I think they were using those rumors more to like for character building to show like, oh, this is what he believes, and here's how these beliefs affect his interactions with this character.
Yes, but what if the character himself is a part of the satire? What if he is like the main driving force of the satire? I mean, he's the main character, so I don't think it's that off. I mean, obviously it's not Hitler, which I kind of expected it to be. Um, I think if this movie, which does advertise itself as a satire, I would think that the main character, whatever is used to develop him, is used in tandem for the message. I don't think I don't think any I don't think any director nowadays would pass up the opportunity to make a movie that features Nazis politicalized. I don't think any of them would not do that in this day and age because it's so easy and it's so relevant. And I just think again there is definitely I think there's a political message here about demonizing groups of people because that is something we're seeing in this country. This guy is I'm pretty sure this guy's American. Um, but yeah, I did see a lot of parallels to real life politics. Did you guys see anything or
Oh wait, what were you talking about?
I'm just saying how this movie does there are
Yeah.
parallels to real life politics.
I didn't really see anything like I didn't really see anything that was kind of like going near modern day politics.
Well, yeah, there
It-
wasn't any Donald Trump showing up and shouting like
Well,
along.
yeah,
yeah.
well
Well,
that
I didn't really see any like parallels to any like
well I'm
modern day
well I was
politics
just
and all that
talking
stuff.
about the whole
Yeah,
demonizing
I
a group
agree
of
with Robin.
people to make just the whole demonizing a group of people to make them make this the people with the upper hand, in this case the Germans, fear them. I feel like that was a big part of the movie, and I guess that I just drew that parallel to what's happening in this country.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, Joe.
Yeah. Again, any movie with Nazis is definitely gonna have some kind of message. This guy, I don't think he's above that. But I guess moving on, since we've been talking about this a lot, and what else is there to talk about?
Um, I mean, like, I don't know. I I think like all right here. Well, who was your favorite character from the entire like movie?
Favorite
Well, we'll
character?
start off. Yeah, like favorite character. It doesn't have to be the main one. It could be like a supporting one or anyone like that. I know I have mine.
Um, well, actually, mm. Okay, can somebody else go first? I'm thinking about saying something, but I'm not sure if I should.
All right.
So,
Nick, you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I want to go first.
Mhm. Oh, me first. Okay. So, well, my favorite character in the entire film was it was the one general who got drunk all the time, and he wore the suit and everything. I freaking love that guy because he was just he was an emotional train wreck, but it was so funny to see him try to like recuperate himself. Then he gets demoted nonstop. He's like he's giving off all these weird drills and they're not being safety mandated and all this other crazy stuff. He just made me laugh a whole bunch. And then at the end, he actually turned out to be a pretty cool guy, where he managed to get JoJo Rabbit out of the sort of predicament he was in, where he made him look like a Jew and got him out. And that was honestly that really felt like it made him more of a hero than what I thought
Hold,
he'd be
hold
before.
on, hold on. Let me stop you right there. I
oh,
believe you said he made JoJo look like a Jew. Uh,
whoa,
are
Well,
you
like
whoa,
saying that by
whoa.
taking off his German uniform that JoJo was wearing, that suddenly
was just
turned?
a random person. Oh oh my gosh, no. I don't mean that shit, dude. No. What I mean is that he made him because like if you saw the girl who was a Jew in the movie, I mean in the context of the movie. That's what I mean it by.
So you
Not
mean
like
wearing plain clothes?
okay, now you're trying to make me look like a weirdo here. No. What I'm trying to say is that he made him look like a different person, and so then he got out unscathed.
There
That's
you
what I mean to say.
gotta be careful we don't lose the 4 cents monetization we get.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, Seabass saying his favorite character is a Nazi. Hmm.
Gosh.
But yeah,
We
no,
gotta
Nick, you go. You go.
Hmm.
Do you want me to go, or do you have one? Because I can go
don't
if you
have
want.
a moment.
So wait, I'll go.
Alright.
In this because it's November, it's been a very hard month for me. I'm gonna have to say Scarlett Johansson. Nobody got that. Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
I understand.
Very funny joke. Are you still going strong, Nick?
Of course.
Of course, I am too. But I guess I don't know. Maybe the girl, the one that was hiding in the walls, she was complex and interesting. So she was cool. Now you go. Now you go.
Alright, I'd have to say my favorite character was probably the SS officer, like the Gestapo dude who came in.
Very interesting choice.
He was a pretty funny character. Enjoyed the gag where like all five people of the Gestapo, anytime someone entered the scene, they all said Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah.
So we
You know?
just have a bunch of Nazis on the show.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing I want to say about Sebastian's favorite character there, I like how they have one scene to imply that the general, had like a homosexual relationship with the other guy.
I wanted to talk
There
about
was
that.
one
I'm
scene
glad you
that,
brought
yeah.
that up.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
we
brought that
had
up.
one scene there, and that was kind of a thing that if you didn't notice it, you didn't see it, but it didn't really affect the movie that much.
I
No,
don't
there.
know. Yeah,
I think I must have noticed that because it was just like there, and then it just went away from it immediately and continued on.
yeah, that had literally nothing to do with like anything. The fact that he was gay, it almost seemed like a joke, which
Yeah,
was
I'm
They
pretty.
could.
weird because
They could
his
have done it.
flamboyant outfit, his thing was very flamboyant, and he was wearing like eyeshadow and stuff, and it was supposed
Calling.
to look funny, but I feel like it was representative of his homosexuality, and
Whoa, wait a
Whoa,
minute.
hold on. Are you
Goodness,
calling all
deep
gays
here, man.
flamboyant?
well, no, I'm not saying that I think that is. But I'm. If you let me finish my sentence, I think that them doing that was incorrect, and what they were implying was incorrect, and it should have been handled better, or just not be in the movie at all.
Yeah, they could have removed that scene entirely, and it would have changed nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like treating it like a joke. I feel like they were almost trying to I guess I don't even know why the fuck they did it because it
Like a hidden joke that they didn't fully develop.
yeah, I don't. It was just weird because it's not like prevalent enough to be character development, and I don't know why they would. Because
That was so late in the movie
yeah,
too.
it's
Was
just it didn't really make sense at all. I don't know why they needed that. They should have developed it more.
it was just
I don't know, a bit odd, but yeah. Do you think that making Nazis like comical? Do you think there was any moral problem with that?
No, because they still used, while comical, they still used it to like display the message, and they just,
A
uh,
message, like a political message?
yeah, fine, whatever. Political uh, they used it for that.
Who's rubbing their balls against the knife? Mike.
The knife,
The
whoa.
knife. That would be
what
me.
now?
Oh, I just hear a bunch of like rustling, like bunch of like on the mic.
Mm.
Movie
But-
Hoppers ASMR minute.
Yes. But that's gonna fuck with the levels so hard. But yeah. So you think it's okay to joke about Nazis? I do. It's okay.
Mhm.
We don't have any Jewish people on the show though, so.
You could have just lost us our Jewish following.
God damn it! We had such a
Doc.
big kosher following.
Darn it.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Ah.
Okay, so the next episode of the Movie Hoppers, we're going to a synagogue to restore our relations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We are going
bro-
to go to Israel.
Movie Hoppers Israel.
The movie hoppers give Israel a 10 out of 10. But yeah, on the next episode, we're gonna have to review the Passion of the Christ and give it like a 0, just to restore relations.
Wait, but then we lose our Catholic following, and
There's
God
more
damn it.
followers.
five,
Joe, we have to.
six,
Yes,
there
just
are
do
more
synagogue
Catholics than any
there.
other religion. So
Well, then we will have to review Kanye West's new album, Jesus is King, and give it a 10 out of 10.
I don't think I could physically do that. I don't think I could allow myself to do that. So you're gonna have to do that one by yourself.
God damn it. I don't want to listen to it either.
Does, man? No one does.
Wow, I think we're getting off topic here, boys. I think we gotta go into our number ratings.
I was just gonna say that, Joe. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh. Okay, well, Nick, since I took them out of your mouth, they belong to you, so you should go first.
I'd give this movie a solid 8.5.
Oh, whoa. It's high. And I guess I'll go next. I'm giving it a... Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5 too. It was good. I enjoyed it. Some problems, but not enough to detract from the experience. It's just very much a crowd pleaser. It's not like an artsy-fartsy film, so you can take your whole family to see it. So, yeah.
Well,
What about you, Seabass?
7.
7, whoa.
bro, we were so close to having a movie hoppers bingo, which I don't think has happened.
A movie hopper's threesome, man. Damn it.
It was good. I enjoyed it a lot.
A low rating.
Leave it to the Nazi to give this movie a 7.
Hopefully you just heard me face palming.
I think we all see what was going on.
Busy enjoying our 8.5 rating. So why did you give it such a low rating compared to ours?
Yes.
Well, I gave it a 7 because I enjoyed the movie a whole bunch, but then just that sad dip, I just wasn't expecting it.
So
And it kind of ruined my mood that I was going for. Like I was thinking I'd come out of it like being very happy and stuff. But whenever I came out of it, I was sort of happy and stuff. But then just the sadness was just complete. It made me think a lot, and like I didn't really want it to do that.
think
It
about
It's kind of
political messages.
But like everything else about it I loved. It was a great movie. I enjoyed watching it. The dip was not bad either. I had a lot of fun, like, watching the whole emotional dip down and then back up. That was pretty cool. I liked it, but I just wasn't expecting it. That was just the one thing I did not think I'd go through.
Okay.
Ah,
So,
That's what makes this movie worthwhile, because it just completely flips what you were expecting.
boys, that's it. It's the end of the episode. Let's not kill each other.
Yes, please.
So we'll put that off camera.
See, yeah, we'll do that off camera where I will destroy you with facts and political messages.
We're in agreement for once.
Are we? Me and you? Kind of. Well, do we agree that this movie had a prevalent political message?
Okay, I wouldn't use the adjective for prevalent, but I would say that there is one. So okay.
Well, okay, so we kind of agree. Therefore, Cole Sprouts is still alive, and let's just end this episode right now.